Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the NeuroDivergent Fitness Podcast.
We're going to be neurodivergent and talk about fitness in a podcast.
And we have instead of a stretch or movement, we have a challenge for you. Okay. The challenge is to be weirder than, just kidding, no. That'll be next week probably.
Mm-hmm.
Challenge is to to cook a new meal that you have not cooked before.
Cook something new. Stretch your boundaries.
Maybe try a new vegetable, maybe try new meat, maybe try cooking in a different way.
It is a good time to try new vegetables. Many things are in season right now. And if you're in the Detroit area, go down to Eastern Market, get yourself some good fresh vegetables, cook it.
Yes. And
do you agree? He agrees.
What's his name?
Jeebus.
Jeebus agrees.
Jeebus agrees.
If you are in the Metro Detroit area and you are looking for markets, I recently put a post on my Instagram. There's multiple markets that go on throughout the city. So there's one that happens on Wednesdays. There's multiple ones that happen on Saturdays. So depending where you are, if you have access issues or you need a market that's closer, there are other markets other than Eastern Market. So check my Instagram. Or if you want to talk about vegetables, also come on over to my Instagram because that's pretty much all it is right now. So
now, you guys don't know this, but we were talking about books before we got on this. I don't know if you know this. The book fair is this weekend in Shed 5.
Oh, where is it at?
Shed 5.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. I might do that. That's
book
great.
Fair.
Okay.
To the Detroiters.
To the Detroiters who like books.
Mm-hmm.
But there's probably a limited amount of you, but I support you and I'm with you if you are one of those people. Okay, so today we are talking about fitness trends. And we're going to take it back a little bit. We're going to go back to the 80s and 90s and the 2000s and then the 2025s.
And we're going to talk about in each decade what was law, what was absolute, irrefutable health fact.
and how it has changed.
The science proved it. So you had no right to argue. You had to do what the science said.
Do not question.
Because let me tell you something, the 80s, the science was not the same.
So the best part that I like about looking at this is that one decade just is like, you said we were supposed to do this. I'm going to show you that we're going to do the complete opposite.
Yeah, it's like this pendulum that swings, and it's wildly different. And okay, just I'm gonna let one of my colors show here.
Yep, go ahead.
There is a philosophy that says that we no longer live in time. There's a philosophy that says we now live in flat time, and that all previous decades are currently present. That's why you can walk down the street and see somebody that looks like they belong in a disco in the 1970s over there, and you can see somebody that looks like they fell out of a garage band windowless van over there, and it looks like it's kind of nuts because time is a flat circle. So technically right now you can get on the internet and somebody will be spouting that every single one of these things is true.
Yeah.
So basically, like every decade is currently present on Instagram. So, and technically, everyone's right. A study did prove these things at some point in time.
Yes. Let's also remember how studies work. 1, they are funded. 2, they have data that can be skewed and shown a particular way.
Studies are funded? What?
Yeah.
You mean studies cost... Wait a minute. They cost money?
Money.
I thought they came out of colleges. We all know that colleges don't operate for money.
All these systems are free and they're just out here.
It's just, And I'm sure that all the information on the internet is 100% valid. Especially if they come from an institution.
And especially BetterHelp.
Especially BetterHelp.
Even WebMD, you can't trust it. You can't trust all these.
I think one of the main keys is, I was actually saying this to somebody the other day, in the current world of AI, and I am actually a big proponent of AI, so let me be very clear on this. This is not a criticism of AI. It's a tool, it has positives and drawbacks, and one of its drawbacks is it tends to hallucinate. Its other main drawback is that it was trained off the internet.
Yeah.
And And so I
Things on
think
the
actually
internet.
operating with a healthy degree of paranoia is about how you have to function in the modern world.
Yep.
Now, that
And
may
if
say
you need
something about
practice-
me.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was like, if you need practice on that, just Detroit.
Yeah.
It has you. Just come on over.
Yeah, come on over. We've got a real healthy sense of paranoia there towards just
do. It's very
about
healthy.
everything. So, with good
Okay.
reason.
With good reason. And awareness. Awareness is key, people. Awareness is key.
All right, so let's take
Okay.
it back. Let's take it
Let's
back
take
to
it
the
back.
1980s. Let's go backward. Let's take it back
Okay.
to Purple Rain.
And this is the point where I will just like remember that it's okay that I don't know most of the references that Ryan.
Yeah, I'm going to
is
say a
about
lot
to
of
make.
things that you don't
that-
get.
It's cool because I don't know current references, so it's fine. It's all good.
It's fine.
All good. Okay. What we did is we asked ChatGPT to feed us what were the fitness trends of these different decades. So we're going to take it back, starting with the 1980s/90s. And in summary, what ChatGPT thinks is that the movement was all about looking good.
No, that is impossible. This isn't the... Okay, go on, because I'm going to...
It says, okay, so in parentheses it goes aerobics, muscle, and leotards. Which personally, I just want to like say that like I kind of wish some of those fashion trends would come back. Because like the bright colors are cool. Why are
Were
we?
you
why
not
can't
around in 2010 to 2020?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. But
That
like
totally
yeah.
came back. Like
it did.
American Apparel,
Yeah.
like straight up, just lived off the 80s nostalgia until they fell apart and died. Like
That's fair.
it's like all they made,
That's fair. Okay, so I
including
missed out on
oversized
that.
T-shirts that had no colors.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I'd take that.
Yeah.
Okay. Anywho, okay, and then also it talked about the focus was on appearance and sweatbands.
Sweatbands.
And then, I have 2 clients who wear sweatbands, and I really do appreciate it. And I am about to get sweatbands that have my new little logo on it on the front. I'm very excited about it.
I am excited for you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, popular workworkouts: aerobics and bodybuilding.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it went both ways. It was like women went in the direction. There was another, and there were 3 really fun underground fitness trends at that time. One was the ECA stack combined with aerobics. In case you don't know what the ECA stack is, it's taking ephedra, which is the compound that you use to make methamphetamine, caffeine, and aspirin, and taking them together as a thermogenic, and it leads to heart attacks. So one of the things that people would do is they would take the ECA stack and do copious amounts of cardio. But the upside to ephedra is it also lowers your hunger rate. That is why when you go to the pharmacy today and you buy Broncaid or anything that has ephedra in it, you have to sign that little box because they're monitoring how much of it you personally buy because it's a precursor to methamphetamine.
So that sounds like just going to a rage.
Mm-hmm.
Like it
Yeah.
sounds like, okay, you either like go to a workout class and do it during the day,
Yeah.
or you just like go at night and then you're just like, techno. Wow.
Yep. That was the late 90s. Slightly different. The drugs
Okay.
were more intense. The other thing was that the other thing that people did, and this was super common in the 80s, was overtaking laxatives. So you weren't bulimic,
yes.
right? You weren't bulimic. You just nothing stayed in your system. So you ate as little as possible, but you made sure to keep taking laxatives.
Yeah. I had a roommate one time, and I like just moved into this place, and I don't know how we were talking about this, and she's like talking about losing weight to some degree, and she's like, don't worry, like I have my laxatives, I'm just gonna start taking next week, and then I'll be fine, I'll be like lose like 5 pounds next week. And I'm like, I'm gonna go work out.
So having been a child of the 80s and effectively being either a geriatric millennial or a baby Gen Xer, you can decide
Whichever.
which one I am. Like my like 80s icon of fitness actually is a guy named Henry Rollins, and he was like
Who?
Henry
Was it?
Rollins,
Oh,
and
okay, I don't know who
he
that
was
is.
the lead singer of a band called Black Flag, and he
Okay.
like even in the 90s he was like a no neck, like he was a beast, but he was natural. Henry Rollins has never done a steroid in his life, and he looks
Wow.
like a normal guy, It hits the
Yeah.
gym a lot. And he was a big proponent of physical culture and fitness in like the rock and punk rock community. And like that was he was like he wrote an entire paper. I remember reading it early on in my career, like when I was a teenager, was basically like get dumbbells. That was like his position. Like just get some freaking dumbbells, eat some meat and beans, and like move the freaking weight. And that was like his like
up and down, up and down.
Yeah, up and down. That was it, right? And you know that probably inspired a whole generation to be really of like alternative kids that were really into that kind of thing. And it was counter to the Arnold Schwarzenegger more like I love there's this great meme on the internet that's like Barbie's blamed for all of these unrealistic body standards that women have from that time period, and it like lists all the things that like she's been totally criticized for, and they're like, let me introduce you to He-Man. Like it happened to everybody, and the thing was the masculine feminine spectrum was really extreme. It was super extreme.
It was really extreme, you said?
Yeah, it was really extreme.
Yeah. Yeah, because in the 80s and 90s?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go back and watch a G.I. Joe cartoon and just look at them. Like watch a G.I. Joe cartoon, look at an old comic book. Like, it doesn't, like the masculine feminine spectrum was extreme.
I did not realize that.
Watch an old 80s movie. Like go back and watch, like, Flashdance.
Is that, okay, so you know those gyms that were, like, you only see women in? With like the like foam rolling like type things that are like, okay, I'm gonna go to the gym, but it's like really just like do. Is that what year was that?
You'd have to give me a specific example. Like I'm not like there's so many versions of that.
There is.
Like like there's this great scene in Flashdance where like it's like 3 or 4 women like working out in like the leotards with the sweatbands around one of those like 4-station all-in-one plate gyms. Do you remember? You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
Oh my God. So like they used to sell these things as like an all-in-one. And it was essentially an all-in-one isolation machine that had like 2 stacks on it. And you would just go around it like in a circle. It'd be like chest press, leg press, pull down, cable pull. Yeah, like you could get the whole thing. And they were thousands of dollars. And basically like, do you remember the Bowflex? So that would have been the 90s. They basically like made a lighter, cheaper version of it in the Bowflex. But like a Bowflex was an all-in-one. That was and that was the home fitness world at that time. And like in Flashdance, there's this hilarious scene of them like doing all the things. Like and it was in movies, it was in everything.
Dang, okay.
Yeah, I mean it was everywhere.
Versions of that now, right? Like that people get for their home gyms, but that seems a little bit different.
It is. It's a little bit different. Like you got to look up what an all-in-one looks like. They're
okay. I'll look it up.
Like we totally had one in our basement, and like I'll go. Like there was a period where I was going to people's homes and like training people out of their homes. And they're like, "Oh, don't worry, I've got an all-in-one," and they're like 25 years old. And like the joke about Bowflex is that they're perfect as a coat rack because all the little tubes that stick off the end of them have like hooks where you would clip the. Because it's a resistance, it's like a resistance bar.
Yeah.
And like you could just put a hanger through all of those little clips, and it would hold all your clothes. So the joke about Bowflex is everybody's got one, and they all turn into coat racks.
That's wild. That's wild. Okay.
I'm dated, everybody. That's.
I just don't also know references. Okay. Next, the technology of the 80s. VHS tapes.
Yeah, but Beta was better.
But what was?
Beta.
What's Beta?
Beta was Betamax. Betamax. So there was actually a war between Betamax and VHS.
Oh, that was like a version of the same technology?
Yeah, same technology. Betamax was literally better. What it came down to was Betamax refused to produce porn.
There it is, people. There it is.
There it is. Like that was it. That was the end of Betamax. Thank you.
You're like, oh, you want to be wholesome in this fight?
Yeah,
goodbye.
Yeah, go ahead. And the internet was born.
Yeah, that's wild. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. The nutrition aspect of the 80s and 90s.
Oh, God, not the nutrition aspect of the 80s. Go on.
low fat, everything.
Low fat everything. Just eat pasta. Just eat pasta and do crap tons of cardio.
Keep eating carbs. Keep running.
Yep.
Carbs, run. Carbs, run. Carbs, run.
Oh, that chicken breast, white rice, broccoli diet is so reminiscent of the 80s.
The bro diet.
Yeah, the bro diet is super 80s.
I've had a client who, or I have a client who was on that diet for a long time, and I was like, so could we just let's step one, a new vegetable. Let's just pick a different vegetable today.
Yeah, pick a different vegetable.
Just a different one.
Yep.
They're like, what are there other ones? I was like, yes, there are other ones.
Well, when you need to meal prep 6 meals a day, that works. You can do it that way.
Yeah.
And to be fair, supplements in the 80s sucked.
What? There were supplements?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Early supplements, creatine wasn't quite around yet. It wasn't in wide use. But early protein powders were around then. And they were terrible.
From you.
Yeah, they were awful. They were very, very bad. Now, mind you, I was still quite young in the 80s. But to be fair, by the mid-90s, things were not significantly better.
Better. Yeah. So the next category they have for this is mental health. And they said... largely ignored.
Largely ignored.
But
supplemented with large amounts of cocaine and crack. I would like to point out that this is also the era of the American crack epidemic.
Good stuff.
And that, my friends, that will solve. And then when that went away, we made our way into methamphetamine and ecstasy by the end of the 90s.
They're like, okay, we're gonna eat a large carb-heavy pasta meal.
Yep.
We're gonna do Coke, and then we're gonna
all
go
the
on
stimulants.
Yep. And then
we're gonna jog it out for our heart health.
Yep. Forever.
Yep.
We're actually just gonna keep running forever.
Yep. It was also that was also the beginning of calorie counting. Was that time?
The end of what?
That was the beginning of calorie counting. Was right around
the
then.
beginning. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What started that? Do you know?
Yeah, so most of the stuff that we do in the fitness industry is actually something that started for a specific medical disease.
You just say that last time, yeah.
So a lot of the assertions made. I'm trying to remember. I think it was called Ultra Health. Basically, there was a book that a guy wrote about the benefits of low-fat dieting and cardio and lots of cardio for heart health. And you have to understand that cardiovascular disease at that time period was one of the number one most preventable forms of illness in America. So the idea was we were combating the most preventable form of illness.
Yeah, by running.
By running enormous amounts, or, oh my God, look up power walking.
Oh, I love power walking.
Power walking.
Honestly, watching their hips just...
Yep.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah, power walking was totally an 80s thing. That was definitely an 80s thing.
Yeah. So I looked up what the keto diet was for. It was for epilepsy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They look up. You can always look up like everything that we know about GI standards is all about, and GI glycemic index is all about diabetes. It's all diabetes. Everything about low fat and carb heavy and lots of cardiovascular. That's all about heart health. Those all come from they come from medical papers. But of course, most of those studies are validated on either people with a medical disorder or in proving that people that adhere to this diet or this way of life have less incidence of but not necessarily none.
Yeah.
So
and I think what was I just gonna say? No idea, it's gone. Okay. Next. Inclusivity minimal for
Have you ever seen Rocky 2?
No, I haven't even seen Rocky 1 all the way, I don't think.
Oh man, you can't be in the fitness industry and not have seen Rocky 1.
I have trained somebody outside with these steps that do look like the Rocky steps, so I feel like I'm there in spirit, and so we would play.
No, an entire generation's mind was formed around the montage. If you don't understand the training montage of the 80s and 90s, you literally do not understand how you compress 18 weeks of hardcore fitness into a 3-minute musical segment in a movie that leads to transformation and inspired an entire generation. Like you
Okay.
fail to understand this. But if you want to understand it better, you should watch Team America World Police.
Okay, that's noted. I will watch the Rocky one
Oh
first.
man,
That will be my first.
I love Rocky movies.
Yeah, I didn't even know that there were multiple ones until I think we talked about
my
it a while
favorite
ago.
one. My favorite one is my favorite bad one. My favorite,
Okay,
the worst,
bad one.
the worst good one is it's either Rocky 3 or Rocky 4, and I refer to it as Rocky versus the Russians because it's all about the Cold War and Rocky going to Russia and fighting Dolph Lundgren, and it's all about how Dolph Lundgren is this like roided up technological like monster, and Rocky's like crawling through snow and like baling hay, and he's doing this ridiculous exercise with like a horse yoke where he's like swinging his body around. It's like the early belief of like this led to CrossFit. I kid you not. This eventually led to CrossFit, and then you get Rocky Balboa, which literally is just Rocky doing powerlifting CrossFit for like the entire movie.
We should make the exercise of the day from like a different decade. It has to be a different decade.
Can you just look the clips up and cut them into the...
Yeah, I will. Yeah,
oh, man. Yeah.
Okay. Cultural icons. Jane Fonda.
Yep.
Accurate. I had a client one time that was like, Meaghan, you need to be the next Jane Fonda. And if you need me to gather the active older adults to make a video, I will organize that for you. Just let me know.
Well, you do like sweatbands, so you're well on your way.
I do like sweatbands. Yeah.
Now you just need a thong leotard, and you're like good to go.
Good to go. Okay, and then they also said Arnold. Did they mean Arnold Schwarzenegger, the other guy?
Oh, say this. I would like to hear this.
Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Good.
Did I get it?
Good.
I got it?
Yep. Literally the most successful physical culturist in like the history of the entire thing.
Anyway.
Yeah, so fun fact about him, like he hit his stride in Conan the Barbarian and the Terminator movies, and he did those. He still didn't really speak English at that time, so he really doesn't speak in those.
That's interesting. Okay, so that's the 80s, 90s. Anything you like to say before we move on to the 2000s?
Well, I would say that like decades don't really end right at the decade. Like in reality, the 80s ended in about 1994, and in reality, the 90s went through till about 2006. There were elements that treaded over in a lot of these, and like I remember the South Beach diet, the Atkins diet, like the exact opposite of the 80s happening like at the very tail end of the 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're about to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2000s, the focus is on convenience and fat loss.
Yeah, because we're actually still talking about aesthetics.
I was like,
it's hilarious that they're like, everybody wants to look good. And now they're like, they want to focus on fat loss. And you're like, yeah, because everybody figured out that's how you get lean. Like, you could cardio and carb yourself to death and just lose muscle. So you get smaller, but you wouldn't lose body fat. Yeah. And so then it became about the Atkins diet.
Yep.
Which turned into South Beach.
I feel like the 80s, 90s was like, okay, we know we want to do this thing. And then the 2000s, like, wait, that thing that we thought we were doing is not working. So we're just gonna.
Yep. People are having heart attacks on treadmills. We should probably stop doing that.
Yeah. Okay, so low carb diet.
Mm-hmm.
Atkins.
Yep. Bacon.
The amount of bacon I ate when I did keto was unhealthy.
Yeah, it's because I literally used to have a client that referred to bacon as the Snickers of meats.
That's accurate. I support that. I
do too, actually.
Yep. Yeah. What other diets came about? When did Weight Watchers start?
Weight Watchers actually goes all the way back into the 90s. Like that's actually still like a holdover from the 80s, 90s. Okay. Like I would say a lot of that. So you have to understand by the early 2000s, the hyper commercialization that was like the corporatization of the 80s became itself in the early 2000s. Yeah, and so like you wind up with like Weight Watchers, Medical Weight Loss, Jenny Craig. Like that was also when everybody was doing these shake diets where it was like meal replacements.
Oh yeah.
Meal replacements became a thing, and that came off the heels of in the 90s something called Slim Fast. So like
Yeah.
Which were early weird like protein shakes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's also fair to say that in the late 90s, early 2000s was when creatine hit the scene. That was also the first time that they got rid of like I think it was McGuire. It was a baseball player named McGuire. They were like, "You're on steroids," and he's like, "No, bro, I'm on supplements." And they like tested him, and they're like, "You're on anabolic supplements, buddy. So yeah, you're on steroids." And that was when they started like really specifically outlawing supplements that they were kind of like moving through that were anabolics. And now we're back to the point where they just take one of those and like modify a molecule and send it out, and it's not technically illegal, and we're back to that place again. But
yep, I have noticed that.
That was also like, oh man, GNC was like huge at the beginning of the 2000s. You would go to GNC and get your anabolics. Like that was where you got your anabolics and your muscle milk. Because it didn't taste like crap.
So GNCs are still around.
Oh yeah, but they're still like super overpriced. Like there's a membership club, but they're so like, even looking at the logo, they're so 80s 90s. They're so born in that ethos, and but they got their foothold in the 2000s.
I told you now I'm remembering the actual location. I told you how I went into a GNC to post my flyers.
Yes.
And I was like having a conversation with the dude, and I was like, "Oh yeah, so like, what protein do you eat and then or use?" And he told me, and then he was like, "What do you?" And I was like, I don't use protein powder.
And you were like, why are
you in here? I'm like, I actually eat like a full, like I eat chicken, I eat protein, like whole food protein after I work out. He's like,
yep.
Good for you. I was like, I'm gonna go now.
So
but if you
understand that it's an overlap period, and GNC was definitely at the peak of that overlap period.
Okay.
This is also when we were getting like, this is also like when like you would change your workout every month with your Men's Health.
With what?
The magazine.
That's fair.
Yeah, you'd see that. You'd see somebody on the cover. You'd be like, "Oh, look at that."
So the ChatGPT is talking about inclusivity as women-focused gyms popping up at this time.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Is it yet talking about CrossFit? Because this is the birth of CrossFit.
Is it? No,
yes.
It didn't talk about it. It's not
this is, to be fair, I was at the epicenter of this. So in Ann Arbor, I was at the epicenter of this. So I looked it up really quick because I couldn't remember the guy's name, but I remember it now. So I'll just read this real quick. Pioneering CrossFit facilities in the early 2000s, CrossFit, with an emphasis on constant varied functional movement performed at high intensity, gained traction. Hyperfit USA CrossFit in Ann Arbor, owned by Doug Chapman, and boy, let me tell you, Doug Chapman is a peach, was an early presence offering CrossFit programs in Ann Arbor. Chapman's background included experience with a command fitness leader for the U.S. Navy SEALs and a member of the U.S. National Wrestling Team. So literally one of the largest early CrossFits in the nation. Was one of the places I first checked out to learn kettlebell in like 2004. And I couldn't afford it because going to kettlebell classes in 2004, at that time when I was working as a martial arts instructor, that was their cheap membership. So the cheap membership in 2004 was between $150 and $185 a month for 2 classes a week.
What?
That was what they charged. Because they wanted professionals, they wanted type A personalities, they wanted highly competitive people, and that was their pricing point. And you have to understand, that's what led to the success of CrossFit, was CrossFit basically said, no bro, you charge $150 to $180 a month, and you're going to be able to afford the loan that you need to build out this box gym. And then you just do that, and when your accounts receivable go up, because this is before it was cancel anytime memberships, it was you sign a person for a year, you do not let them out of the contract. When your accounts receivable goes up, the value of your business is the total amount of your accounts receivable, and then you can loan against that and build another one, and build another one, and build another one, and you just steamroll them in. And I know because as a martial arts instructor, we were doing the same thing. Second, one of the largest martial arts schools in all of America was on Main Street in Ann Arbor. So Ann Arbor, just it's a fiscally wealthy place. So it was like people could afford this, and they did it.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like 800 people at Keith Hefner's karate was like 800 paying members. That's one of the largest martial arts schools in the United States at that time. And like to this day, I bet he's still on the circuit doing speeches about it. I bet he easily. So I've been in this industry a long time.
Yeah, that's expensive for a kettlebell. So I'm like over here complaining for a $32 Pilates class.
Right.
Thank you for listening to part 1 of this episode. Episode 2 will be out next week.